Pittsburgh beat Chicago, Mike Tomlin wasn't even the Steelers' head coach. But the black and gold look for their first win against the Bears in 16 years. And it's coming up next.
It is a cold night in western Pennsylvania as we bring you inside Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Chicago Bears. Brandon Gaudin joined as always by Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Bears in this one. They think they can run the football in this one, but there's a group on the other sideline that thinks otherwise.
Yeah, it's always intriguing when you pit an offense against a defense. It seems like they can cancel each other out. We've got a top 5 rushing offense against a top 5 defense. So a lot of times it comes down to execution and maybe a little bit of that what coaches call 1-2.
First 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Steelers now on offense, led out by a man who's been at the control since 2004. 6-time Pro Bowler, Ben Roethlisberger.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. A boatload of carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on him. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Roethlisberger. This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So, Charles, defensively here, you're going up against a veteran quarterback. He's got a lot of know-how, a ton of savvy, but a guy who's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. What's the plan of attack?
You spend all week pumping up your defensive front. Your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys who go after the quarterback the most, because you know that he's not going to run and beat you consistently throughout the game. You can rush more aggressively off the edge and even up the middle.
Fighting through, and he's got space. And finally out of bounds just inside the 10. 58 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start. Anyone who watched Najee Harris at Alabama knows the kind of strength that this guy runs with, and he's continuing on that path here at the next level.
Yeah, and this is a case of improper form from a tackling perspective because when you get ready to go up against a back like this, everyone has to be able to understand you've got to be able to slow him down and let the cavalry come to the rescue. They were nowhere to be found that time, though, and this winds up being a big play.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for 1st and goal. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. It's brought in by Harris. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Here's Roethlisberger. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Khalil Mack, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
You say Khalil Mack and offensive coordinators get very, very nervous, and there's another example of exactly why. 9 sacks in 2020. He's been named to 6 consecutive Pro Bowls and been an All-Pro in 2 of the previous 3 seasons in Chicago.
On 3rd and goal, Roethlisberger. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Robert Quinn in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. Even though they didn't find the end zone, they have to be pretty pleased with how they moved the ball on the ground, because we know that that was one of their big goals in this game.
And that really goes through the entire offense, because when you're running the ball effectively, just about everyone's involved. It's not just the guy carrying the football. It's everyone blocking for him, both inside and on the perimeter.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. This defense for the Steelers, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape, because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
On 1st down, it's Fields. This one swung out to Williams. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. The clock running here. Under a minute to go now in the 1st quarter of a 3-0 game. Throwing again on 2nd down. Fields over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Fields to throw on 3rd and 1. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They only needed 1 yard on 3rd down. They get 10 instead by going to the air. Nothing after 1 on EA Sports. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Fields. Escaping the pressure right, and he is out of bounds inside the 30. On 2nd down, Williams. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's 3rd down and inches. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Chris Wormley able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Ray McLeod deep for Pittsburgh. And they'll play keep away from the returner, as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Najee Harris and the Steeler offense set to go to work once again. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense, but you know what else is happening too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. you've got to be able to throw better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game, opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. On third down, Roethlisberger. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Well, for Ben Roethlisberger, he had the elbow reconstruction back in 2019, but he does not appear to have lost much at all, as that was a rocket.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's third down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham, you have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
And the next-gen stats, they tell the story. That's a full 67 yards in the air.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they'll start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
Williams going to get it again on second down.
And maybe shades of the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. Third down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
Fields.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger heading back out there. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger escapes the sack, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Robert Quinn in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
They're in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Here's Bird to return. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Bears take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Fields throw complete here to Kmet. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Now Fields. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with a quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. To throw again on 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Here's Damian Williams making his way back out. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try to mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
On 1st down, Fields. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now a 1st down throw, Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
From there, let's head off and check out a 2nd game. And they were losers in that one to the visiting LA Chargers. Austin Eckler, a touchdown run in the victory. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. Colin Kaepernick, sharp in the victory as his guys get back within a game of 500. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Bears. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. And meanwhile, for the Steelers, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the 3rd quarter. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Bears offense set to go to begin the 3rd quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. And what's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. To throw again on second down. Fields. And that'll be incomplete. An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Fields now to throw. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. That's caught. It's James Washington. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Eddie Goldman with a sack. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. He gets it complete to Harris. And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Space to maneuver at the 40. And all the way up to the 46. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first. Got exactly what they wanted there out of the RPO and had the defense out of position.
One word for you there. Excellent. Because he read all the keys properly, made the right decision, and look at the result. Pretty substantial game.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. The big man, P.J. Hall, had the path to the QB there. Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. Another try after the 1st down sack. Fields. And this one's incomplete. Oh, the terrible towels here at Heinz Field out in full force. Here's 3rd and long. Under pressure, and down he goes. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
And the Watt family certainly knows how to get to the quarterback. His brother, J.J., he led the NFL in that category twice in 2012 and 2015. And now TJ enters the record books. Led the league in sacks with 15 in 2020, but he plays so hard, he's always around the quarterback. 61 pressures last year, 16 more than the second-place finisher.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Harris starts the drive on the ground. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. 2nd down and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he's going to be met at about the 43. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Roethlisberger. He's going to let this go for the end zone. He's got Claypool for a Steeler touchdown. Chase Claypool, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Steelers are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And you'd think on 3rd down they'd just be looking for something right beyond the sticks. And I think they caught the defense flat-footed as a result because they decided they were going to take a shot right there, and it ended up being a big play.
And to put a bow on it, Next Gen Stats saying that traveled an even 66 yards in the air. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point put through by Boswell, and that makes our score 17-0. This one taken just inside the 10. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Chicago offense set to get started. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. Fields on 1st down. This is caught by Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. Out of the gun, Fields. Eluding the pressure right. And Fields going to have the 1st down before sliding to a hold to avoid the contact. 23 yards on the tuck and run. We've seen the pressure get to him several times in this game. There, though, we see him escape it.
And we've seen this rookie video before as well. That type of pressure, oftentimes, what do you resort to? Your legs, try and escape. What you hope is that this doesn't become habit for him, that he learns how to handle the pressure, still keep his eyes downfield, and make some throws.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Kmet. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw is Fields. Dancing to his left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt.
looking to throw again on second down. Fields, throw caught here by Bird.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31.
On fourth down, Fields. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone.
And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now here's another carry for Harris. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. On the give, this is Harris. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough. But, yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys were nails out there.
So for the Steelers, they improved to 5-3 as they approach the halfway point of this 17-game schedule.
And they'll have another home date next week as the Detroit Lions come to town. Meanwhile, for Chicago, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11.